Today I have just a few or two issues. We have always communicated that we give pieces of advice in lieu of certain security observations, but we also bring forward a number of occurrences which we feel are of public interest. I will begin with an issue or an incident in West Nile, where the Uganda Police Force's Environmental Protection Police Unit, in coordination with the UPDF and the National Forest Authority, continue to intensify operations against the illegal exploitation of forest resources. You will recall that in May 2023, His Excellency the President issued an Environmental Protection Directive under Executive Order number 3 of 2003. It banned the burning, production, and commercial trade of charcoal in northern Uganda and northeastern Uganda, including Karamoja, Teso Sub-Region, Lango, Acholi, and West Nile. Now, on 25th July, just a couple of days ago, we carried out a joint operation in Madi, Okolo, and surrounding areas, targeting illegal charcoal trade, resulting into the impoundment of a number of bags of charcoal, and also making some arrests, that is 8 arrests. We wish to strongly warn individuals and groups engaged in illegal production, transportation, trade of charcoal, and generally environmental degradation. Because the reason why we come out, when you go for the person who is transporting, the person producing may think that for him is safe. So the purpose of coming here is to throw a message out there that we are going to target the entire chain of operators, right from the person engaged from the first stage, which is the production stage. And previously, we've had complaints before, where you find that an individual owns, let's say, a fuso, and he is resident in Kampala. Then he sends his fuso, or he hires it out to collect charcoal in these areas mentioned. So that's why it is very important, as Uganda Police Force, to come out so that that person who owns that fuso, tomorrow when he finds it impounded, he has a locus. He has a beginning point from which to tell why his vehicle is impounded. Because they always come. You see, for me, I am innocent, I didn't know. Now, this is the time for you to know that we are targeting everybody within the chain of production, transportation, and trade. So as I reiterate, that we wish to strongly warn individuals and groups engaged in illegal production, transportation, trade of charcoal, and environmental degradation, that these activities are criminal. The Joint Security and Environmental Protection Agencies will sustain these operations across the region. We've been doing them, but I had not come out to give you this very strong statement, because later we realized that people come and feign innocence. And especially we have been doing these operations in the Karamoja sub-region. So take note Then secondly, or lastly, about this issue is that we call upon the public to support these efforts by reporting these illegal activities. Because when the public participates in the fight against these illegal activities, it makes our work easy. So take note that we are acting pursuant to the Executive Order number 3 of 2023. And it specified very clearly northern Uganda, northeast, that is including Karamoja sub-region, Teso sub-region, Lango, Acholi, and West Nile. So you'll be seeing a little intensive work pursuant to this executive order. Let me also comment about the local council elections. As you are all aware, tomorrow, Tuesday, 28th July, that's when we shall be having the voting in the local council elections for the LOC 1. Now, of course, campaigns end today. And we believe that all the participants are aware. So members of public, we call upon you to remain peaceful, lawful, and orderly. We have not, because we had the women council elections, we did not register very serious challenges. Of course, you know how challenging elections sometimes mean to be. But this time around, the scale of crime was not very high. Some of these cases were petty. Of course, we still observe some bullies. Then there were some scandalous individuals, you saw them, who purported to be women when they were men. I think that was in Mukono. But we harvested them. Public harvested them and handed them over to us. You can imagine. And these are fellows with very masculine morphology. In no way do they even look like women. So they couldn't hide, and they were handed over. So now they are answering for their deeds. So far people have behaved. So police, together with other security agencies and other administrative stakeholders, of course we insist that we shall not tolerate any misconduct or any act that undermines the integrity of the elections. We know, of course, these are the common acts. One, intimidation. You will find the incidents where people are intimidating others. And you know, remember, this is an election where voters line behind the candidates. Then there are threats, because these people live within the same communities. Tampering with the processes, obstruction. We anticipate, you know, there are incidents which sometimes arise in these kind of elections, where when the campaign team of one of the candidates realizes that their line has no clients, or has no persons, they disrupt this one who is about to win or winning victory. There are a number of things. Others just disrupt the process because they realize that they are losing. Now, all those we are warning, we shall deal with. want to come to you in time and warn you that for every action that is illegal, there will be a reaction from us. And we shall counter you to the extent of the threat you pose. We urge citizens to respect the election timetable. The timetable is clear. There has been an interaction between the Electoral Commission and the electorate. There has been very good communication, time and again, on all platforms. Communities have been engaged. We do not want to see campaigns tomorrow. Campaigns during the voting process. If you want to convince any voter, convince him before we start. And you must convince him by today, because that's what the timetable says. The other thing is we are not allowing processions. Of course, we are seeing some few processions, even as good as yesterday after the sweeping, but we are going to be strict on that. Everything must end today in respect to campaigns. Then tomorrow, you wait for the people's verdict. The other issue we would like to mention is that the electoral process has mechanisms through which a dissatisfied party can convey his dissatisfaction, grievance, or complaint. So there is no excuse for resorting to raw violence. But if you choose to do so, just be rest assured that there are countermeasures which will bring you to order. Lastly, in respect to our operations, and particularly in the Greater Kampala metropolitan area, I would like to inform you that our operations are still going on. And I think my colleague Kawala, just seated next to me here, has been very, very timely in giving you updates. The operations against phone thefts, she was very emphatic on them. And there is one thing, of course, which I may not let directly out of the bag, but we want also to try to link the victims to the exhibits. One of the things, by the way, people need to know, we have a number of exhibits we have. Some of these phones, we want to find a way of linking with the victims, the people who lost those phones. But there is something she's planning. I think at your own time, you get time and communicate to the public so that we have a link, so that we communicate. But we carried out a number of operations, and these were our statistics. That is from Kampala Metropolitan South, Kampala Metropolitan East, and North. Between 13th July and 26th July, that's a space of 2 weeks, 1,711 suspects were arrested. 120 were issued the police bonds. 503 were cautioned. I have always explained why we issue police bonds. We issue police bonds when we feel, one, we have a certain extent of suspicion or some suspicion about that person. We feel he's not yet off the hook, but it is not relevant to continuously keep him in custody. So we issue him a police bond as we carry out our investigations. Then the ones we caution, these 503, I still have explained before, that when we are carrying out these operations, there are not everybody who is arrested is guilty. But within our operational arrangement, there are times when our officers on ground find it necessary to first pick you, to first prove that probably the suspicion they have is either correct or incorrect, and on the basis of their finding, you may be released without a charge. And those actions are purely lawful. Then 954, those ones were taken to court. And so far we have 137 pending court. Now these are the ones whom you find our investigations are still ongoing. The court record, I may not speak for it. I will end at the record where police particularly was in charge. Otherwise, I thank you for listening to me.